Greetings Whovians and welcome to Timey Wimey Review. The new Doctor Who spin-off, The War Between the Land and the Sea, arrived on BBC One and BBC iPlayer right here in the UK with a episode 1 and 2 double feature. And so far it's received high praise from the critics and quite a lot of positive feedback, I would say, amongst the Whoniverse. So do I feel that it deserves all this high praise? Well, please hit the subscribe button. That will really help out this channel as I try to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2025. Any support that you can give will be greatly appreciated. And thank you for everyone that has supported me and this channel throughout this year and the past few years as well. Honestly, I'm over the moon that we're almost at the 1,000 subscriber target. For now, here is my spoiler talk for episodes 1 and 2 of The War Between the Land and the Sea. Yes, this video will be containing spoilers. You have been warned. Just a quick overview of the plot. We have a new alien race that has risen from beneath the surface, the Sea Devils, or in this case, Homo Aqua. One of the new Sea Devil variants was captured by a fisherman and was shot and basically hanged as some kind of like trophy prize, or like a sort of like a, you know, like one of the sort of like circus freaks type of thing. And units sort of intercepted it and kind of cleaned up all of the mess of the humans. But that didn't stop the rest of the Homo Aquas to rise from the surface and to basically negotiate talks with the humans on the surface. And the Homo Aquians are not happy with humankind, with all the years of pollution, dumping all their rubbish and toxic waste into the sea, basically wrecking their homes, killing their children. So yeah, I can understand why they're not very happy. So UNIT has been sort of involved to kind of represent these peace talks between humans and Homo Aquians. One of their main leaders, Salt, she wants only one person to represent the human race, and she chooses Barclay, played by Russell Tovey. And basically Barclay was kind of the wrong guy at the wrong place at the wrong time, a literal fish out of water. So he was there as part of a job for UNIT, but he wasn't actually should have been there. He basically lied about his credentials and how, you know, how good he is at his job. But because he's shown kindness to the dead Homo Aqua that he was part of the cleanup team with, Salt saw this and said, well, he's the only one that's shown kindness. If we was going to have any peace talks, he should be the voice for the human race. And which he just went, okay. So yes, the peace talks start, and just to sort of jump up into the sort of ending of episode 2, Salt, as part of the Homo Aquans race, gave the humans 3 demands. 1, clean up all the rubbish and waste and toxic pollution out of the sea. And the humans were basically saying, yes, we can do that, but it's going to take a lot of time, and it's going to be sort of like looking around another 30 years before that can fully happen. The second request by Salt was to make sure that basically humans are landlocked. They cannot cross the sea because all the ships are basically, again, wrecking their homes, causing pollution, and that includes air travel as well, because the sea is connected to the air and, again, dumping pollution and toxic waste. No traveling between lands now. Basically, you stay on your islands. The lands are yours, but the sea and everything around the sea, including the air, belongs to the Homo Aquians. And obviously, humans were outraged on this one. So those negotiations didn't turn out well. And equally for Salt, she didn't like the idea that it's going to take 30 years to clean up, or even longer, to clean up all the mess that the humans have made. So there was a part where she said, do you desire to basically clean up the oceans, and Barclay said yes. And with that, basically all the waste and plastic was basically raining down on the earth. All of the rubbish was raining down the earth, including the Titanic. The Titanic finally made its journey to New York, and it definitely caused a bit of a mess. Barclay's family, his ex-wife and daughter, they was being escorted to like a safe building, a safe house, and the driver got killed, and family nearly got killed in the process of all that. So I imagine quite a few people did die in that sort of rain down plastic massacre that the Homo aqueans managed to raise from the sea. The final demand was that if these talks were to continue, it's going to be continuing in the Homo aqueans home base, or one of their main sort of bases in the middle of the ocean. Well, let's go back to those two episodes, and yeah, I thought it was really good, starting off really with the design of the new version or variant of the Sea Devils. Obviously we had that leak of Salt, the sort of part human, part sea devil type of creature, and yeah, there was a little bit of not sure what I'm liking, what I'm gonna like and see from this one, but just going through like the sort of the normal sort of like, or imagine she's like more of a hybrid, or I'm not quite sure how that all works, but you kind of had her and then the rest of the sort of creatures that don't really speak English and just kind of like shout and screech or make sort of clicking noises. They look good actually. It kind of felt like a sort of upgrade to the Sea Devils, but not necessarily losing that resemblance either. Kind of a bit like a Sideman upgrade. You can tell it's a Sideman with like the handles and the sort of the stance, but very different to what we saw back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s Cyberman. And it's the same here with the Sea Devils. You can tell it's a Sea Devil, but a lot more sort of, I would say, menacing looking. I think it's trying to bring the sort of fear factor back to the Sea Devils, where the original sort of designs, as beautiful as they were, and the one that was on that was in Legend of the Sea Devils, um, kind of didn't have that sort of facial sort of features where, especially with the larger eyes, they're probably going to only be able to sort of express only certain amount of emotions where here you kind of got the full range. And that sort of leads me to Gugu and Mbatha-raw and Salt. Her makeup and costume is absolutely stunning, really really good, and I liked the sort of little touches of when she was talking, like the sort of the gills or like the ears were kind of raising and lowering, to again emote extra emotion as well. And then that leads me to the two main stars, Gugu and Mbatha-raw, who is Salt, and Russell Tovey, who is Barclay. And for me, those two are the absolute highlights, or the crown jewel, in these two episodes. I thought their performances were fantastic. Salt is basically this fearless creature that's going to take no nonsense in these negotiations for peace. As much as they want this peace to happen, I think war is definitely everyone's last option. Well, you'd like to hope it's everyone's last option, but we'll get into that a little bit later in this review. But she's not going to lay down. She knows in her mind that the humans have done wrong. And I think this is what I liked about episodes 1 and 2. It's kind of like you are on their side. Obviously, it did bring some sort of thought-provoking interest of, what if we're only like landlocked and not able to sort of travel across different continents by sea or by air, what would happen? And sort of like, again, it's wrecking people, it's wrecking trade. People are relying on aid, so it's all that kind of, it ends on that sort of nice sort of what if scenario, and how that would logistically work. because in my eyes, I don't think it will. But obviously, the pollution and all the waste that's getting dumped in the sea, in my eyes, it's not necessary. So yeah, I'm glad that it's not like the most new or refreshing. It's not a new message, but in talking about the environment, but it's definitely a message that needs to be talked about, and being displayed in this kind of way, it does add extra weight to the problem of pollution. Then we have Barclay, played by Russell Tovey, and again, I was quite when the cast list was announced and Russell Tovey was going to be the lead, I thought, yeah, I think he's going to be fine. I've got no issues with that. Obviously, we've seen him before in Doctor Who, and he's gone on to do a lot of other TV dramas and comedy, like Being Human. If anyone remembers that, let me know in the comments. And yeah, what I liked about Barclay's character is obviously there's that kind of fish out of water type of scenario. And obviously he's like a family man, and it's that refreshing idea of talking about all these sort of issues that really the politicians have been talking about, and when they talk about it, they basically waffle on and not give you a definitive answer. Where and I think that's kind of like where this was quite clever from Salt, of basically getting an average human, blue collar worker, if you like, um, to be this representation of the human race. They're going to be a lot more honest. They're going to be a lot more direct, because they're sort of like, they know that they need to get this sorted to protect not only themselves but their family, and obviously not create war. So Barclay's there, sort of like being this. He's kind of like in a war of his own, where Unit are behind the scenes, like with a teleprompter, sort of basically giving Barclay the answers. But sometimes he goes off script and says and goes a bit sort of beyond what he should have been saying. And I like that from Russell's performance. It is very sort of naturalistic. There's some humorous bits from him as well, but it doesn't kind of go. At the moment, it hasn't gone like over the top from one way or the other. Like, for example, maybe, if we're sort of comparing it to, say, Guardians of the Galaxy, or like with the Marvel sort of movies, they really sort of inject the humor, sometimes a bit too much. Here it's quite well balanced at the moment. I know we've still got another 3 more episodes in this mini series, but at the moment it's pretty well balanced in terms of humor, and still going for the sort of more serious tones. It was mentioned as well in these 2 episodes that Barclay has met the Doctor briefly, so we had that sort of, we kind of bleeding into the Whoniverse, but it is its own, I would say, human verse as well in this spin-off. So yeah, we've got like little elements of the Doctor Who universe, like obviously the Sea Devils and Unit, as well as 1 or 2 cameos that we have seen over the years in the Doctor Who universe. They are present as well in this spin-off, which is cool to see. But with Barclay talking about the Doctor, I don't know. I'm getting vibes that there's going to be a giant twist towards Barclay. At first, I was thinking, could he be the Master? Could he be an incarnation of the Master? Maybe with like a fob watcher. We're not sure what he's what he's capable of. Or actually, could he be a new Time Lord? I'm thinking actually. I know obviously this is a bit sort of beyond, because we still don't know what's happening with Russell T Davies after he writes the 2026 Christmas special. Is he going to be? Is Bad Wolf going to be carrying on to do more Doctor Who? We don't know at this moment. But if there was going to be a shocking twist, or shocking twist number 1, I reckon Barclay's going to end up being the meddling monk. He's doing this for humanity, but I feel like there might be an extra reason behind all of this as well. I think we're led to believe that he's kind of like the fish out of water type character, who's wrong place, wrong time. But I think really secretly he is doing the right place at the right time. to do whatever sort of chaos that he wants to do. That's my prediction. We also have unit characters back in this spin-off. Particularly what I want to talk about for these two episodes is Kate Lethbridge-Stewart and Colonel Ibrahim. Good performances again from those two, but the scene that kind of spoilerish scene is, yes, they are now Colonel Ibrahim and Kate Lethbridge-Stewart are now officially an item. Well, they are for those two, but I feel like there was a scene where there was walking into the building separately. I'm still thinking they're keeping it a secret around unit headquarters, and I'm imagining that's because they can probably weaponize this love between them. And I did find the scene, I don't know, it didn't quite. There's two ways you can see this. You can either see this as Kate as a character that's not just can't switch off, particularly when it is big crisis like this. You get the sense that she is, as much as she has her own downtime, she is literally in her mind, she's always on duty. And Colonel Ibrahim was just kind of there to sort of, try and calm her down and just try and help her relax and unwind. It's probably something that she hasn't done for years. I also saw this as basically Kate trying to sort of maybe pour onto Colonel Ibrahim like her worries, her fears, and Colonel Ibrahim was like, "Yeah, I just want to get on, please." It's that's kind of where I felt the scene was. It didn't quite, I don't know, it didn't quite land for me. Nothing against Gemma and Alexander. I thought they did a very good performance, but yeah, just that scene between Kate and Colonel Ibrahim, yeah, it was just a little bit off. But here we go for another prediction spoiler. I think Colonel Ibrahim is not going to make it after these episodes. I think he's going to die in some shape or form. I feel like episodes 1 and 2 were kind of like I feel like we're heading in towards, like, at the moment we're on the side of the Homo Acreans, the Sea Devils, and I feel maybe parts 3 and 4 that are coming on next week, we're going to be on the side of the humans. And episode 5 is kind of like, where do you, hopefully, clever way, as an audience member, where do you draw the line? Where are you? Which side are you on in this war between the land and the sea? But I do feel that, yeah, there's going to be a death. A death is coming. I'm thinking Barclay's ex-wife is definitely for the chopping block. But if we're going for a shock death, my money is on poor Colonel Ibrahim. On the whole, I was impressed with these two episodes. Yeah, it took a slight while to kind of get into the story. Obviously, doing a lot of world building and setup with all these characters. But once that was all sort of set up and done, kicked into overdrive and straight into the story. So overall, I'm going to give episodes 1 and 2 of The War Between the Land and the Sea a TARDIS rating of 8 out of 10. Had a lot of, yeah, I really enjoyed the special effects on this one, the mixture of the special effects and makeup effects as well, particularly with all that plastic being thrown onto the earth or onto the lands around the world. I thought that was a really sort of cool concept. I thought Barclay's ex-wife or girlfriend was going to die then, and then that might have just changed Barclay's kind of mannerism or his humanity for Homo Aqua. But yeah, really looking forward to episode 3 and 4. So I wasn't expecting it to be another double feature. I thought it was going to be just single episodes for the next 3 weeks, but no, we're sort of wrapping it up quite quickly, which probably just to keep that momentum going is probably the right direction to go. So yeah, really looking forward to the next 3 episodes of The War Between the Land and the Sea. Also, I'm liking the political sort of elements that are at play. There's a few sort of RTD tropes in there in terms of, like, we've got like the conservative figure that's just waging war. We also got humans messing things up as well. There was another character where he stole some Sea Devil type or Homo aqua DNA and gave it to basically man in mysterious black car. So we're not sure how that's going to resolve as of yet. So yeah, lots of different interesting elements at play. Yes, really looking forward to parts 3, 4, and 5 of this new Doctor Who spin-off. But what do you think, my Whovians? Have you watched it? What did you think? Did you enjoy it? Did you think it was not quite what you wanted? Did you think it was either not dark enough? Could it go darker? Let me know all of those in the comments. But thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this spoiler talk review. If you have, please like, share, and subscribe. Hit the cloister bell for more notifications. Come say hello and follow me on Facebook and X. And do check out my other fantastic Doctor Who related content on Timey Wimey Review TikTok. And of course, right here on the Timey Wimey Review YouTube channel. Thank you as always for your love and support. Until we meet again.